In the world of antiquity, a realm of ancient swamps, warm lagoons and dense forests, the air hummed with the rhythmic beat of strings, resembling the sound of silk drums. For eons, not a single vertebra had been torn from the earth, longer than the stress of time. But evolution, the relentless force, through bones and long fingers, clad in leather membranes, hollow bones and muscles, all designed for the pursuit of airborne fungus. And so, the pterosaur poultry emerged. For hundreds of millions of years, these creatures would grow from tiny nose breasts to giants, whose wings overshadowed the eternal sun. The call of the pterosaur was a shaking one, echoing across Europe. The dusk of the Kegigant, Krona heralded the arrival of Ediomarphodon. His tail was adorned with a parallel branch, his wings were almost sample, and his huge eyes flickered amber. He heard the scream of Protolibellula through the air, a flickering highway piercing through. In one swift movement, Ediomarphodon opened his wings, the scene reminiscent of a blooming flower, but quiet and deadly fast. The being throw took a fraction of a second. Stop. The horned teeth closed, and the buzzing was replaced by the crunch of prey. The unique part of the pterosaur family was their teeth of various shapes. Front long hunchpurs caught slippery prey, the posterior three-aimed drainers, with which the predator ground the scales of the fry that came into night raids. He was a real station wagon. In one hunt, he caught with a trichos after a minute with a sharp wing turn, drawing from the water of an intertwid tadpole. Tactics minimized time under the blow of predatory fish and reduced energy consumption. With an ondactyl, its wings were small, but the body was light like a fluff. He patrolled the edge of the logs, upside down, to the left, to the right, like a dart with a broken wind. However, each movement was stuck up. When Roy Mosca frightened the jump of fish, when the ondactyl was reflected, it dived under the sun and caught 2 insects at once with the oncoming jaw blow. Its menu was midges, camara, gruels, larvae, amphibians, less often, fry fish. If necessary, it sank to the clay coast and preyed the chitin jackets, shaking its air so as to catch tang. Its hunting tactics was a constant change in height, so that it was difficult to catch the trajectory. At dawn, the mirror water of the river and the mist spread with it, with the tip of the rhombus. The tail kill stabilized the body, even with the impoverished wind. Rhamphorin was low, so low that the edge of the wing drew a sonorous track along the surface. He searched for the shadow of fish leptolepis or squid belimnite. He noticed and immediately folded the fins, turning into a falling knife. At the time of the jaw hit, the water and the victim flew inward, and the sharp needles were closed like a gear clamp. Sometimes Rhamphorin was a hallit to dry. He jumped with a boomerang, pushed the body up with one powerful wave, and grabbed the fish directly from the surface without wetting the chest. Bednius amount. The tiny dinosaur Coelophysis scattered into fern thickets. Because of the Ara. On the Ara branch, Carrier was sitting, a dimorphodon, whose head seemed great for the body. He was waiting. 2 teeth lines provided a double blow, front pricking, rear holding. When I praised it appeared in an open area, the dimorphodon made a force jump, opened its wings and fell on top like fat. The prey paralyzed from shock. The predator returned to his branch to calmly survey the territory, but sometimes he changed the role. In the thick air, the coast began. He caught giant beetles. Meet Horus. Dimorphodon was hanging in an air pillar. From the splendor light, it was opened to attract insects, and each careless movement ended with a click of the mouth. The fog was laid on the lake, where stracoses were digging over warm water. Scaponat was smeared, but turns. He used the effect on the earth's pillow. It passed 30 centimeters above the water. The flow of air opened, beats moisture, and insects were normal. One movement of the head was enough to collect a spoonful of prey, short muzzle and protruding teeth, like a fishing suck. When the sun rose, it went to the thickets of reeds and switched to amphibians. The fastest lateral brothers, Amphibia, disappeared, and the Scaphonatus flew up vertically like a traffic jam. On the horizon of the western inner sea, the haze merged with the wing. Pteranodon, real sailboat. His crestwake was the aligning balance. He could fly at 5 o'clock without a wing of his wing. The airflow held 25 kilos of a giant, while the eyes of the binoculars scanned the surface. A lot of fish to Cicatinus rises behind plankton. Pteranodon folds its wings in a triangle, falls at a speed of 90 km per hour, and with a click without teeth, with a beak like tweezers. The fish enters the whole hole, and the proven of water wings are revealed. Founding the predator back to the stream. Arnita higher. This is a dive fighter. His jaws are drove and 30 millimeters. He does not wait for convenient airflow. He accelerates with an active rowing. Seeing the jam of the trampling squids of the NRC Utis, he makes a spiral, gaining height, then vertically falls through the waves, clinging 2 or 3 cephalopods at once. From there, opened up with a bars and squid produces ink, already captives. The mirrors of the salt pond are not mobile. The pterosaur house sits on a floating trunk of a tree. Suddenly, there is a barely noticeable movement in the water. This is a surge of fry. The predator throws himself, tearing his calm, shakes the air with a snake, and at an angle of 45 degrees falls on prey, jaws like surgically a clamp, rest movement and fish captured. With one snake of wings, he is again on a log, as if there was nothing. Morning fog pastes along the reed. German Dactyl publishes a sharp bang. This is a signal to a competitor. His bone comb gods on the blood streams. Challenge accepted. But instead of the battle from the storage in dexterity, whoever grabs the first from a trichose is the winner. The crests vibrate in reflecting the sunny fumes. Females sit a little further and watch. Ritual hunting competitions are in the genes of these creatures. A long whistle is heard in the recremental field in low trains. Quetzalcoatl goes on 4 limbs. He would be with a giraffe, but wider in his shoulders. He notices a dwarf dinosaur at Tyrannicus in size. With one jump, the giant covers the victim. The beak is 1.20 meters long. There is a hare as a sovereign. The crosses crunch. A wave of wings and a giant takes off with a 3-meter carcass in order to calmly deal with the booty prey on a rocky grid inaccessible on the Earth's scavenger. In the delta, the ancient Nigra River, herds of turtles, Galeonimus, heats up in shallow water. In the sky, the point grows rapidly. This is Aurumbergian. Her long neck is drawn. Krilling folds, and it falls like spear. Water explodes. The wave and beak is already holding the turtle beyond the edge of the panzer. Several strokes and giant drags a trophy into a dried-up cave tongue, where it breaks the prey of a Cominic ledge. Hatzegapteryx. A wave of wings is 10 meters, but the case is more massive than Quetzalcoatl. The island ecosystem gave him short but thick bones. Hatzegapteryx is not afraid to hunt in a shrub. He hears a crunch of branches. This is a dwarf godrutor. Telmatazavor is looking for shoots. Pterosaurs rests on the wings and makes a cat attack. Croffle easily breaks the ribs. The neck with short vertebrae can withstand a strong jerk. Primembling and Zloman. At dinner, he is alone. Other predators of the island of dwarfs go to a safe distance. Utron from the cache with a bleak river system of Aurorip. Tupoxuara is spinning like an air snake. Her crest is an alorage sail. Orocaritis is prolonged into the clicks with fruits, but noticing the red-shaped cancer, The predator plans the catmilly and shakes the prey with one wave. The diet is mixed: 60% fruits, 25% small animals, and 15% carrion. Corolna of the screw glows through the backdrop of dawn. Topajara freezes like a caliber in front of the clusters of the console fruits of a gynecological tree. The secateur kloof cuts off the berry, but the shach at the bottom attracts attention. Lepida slibaris will be dangled, sharply clicking, and reptiles disappears. A universal vegetarian predator uses his comb as a steering germination of scores. The rocky amphitheater announces the strict from the sicat. The gift of Venopter is sitting on a ledge. The tail levels a long skull with a needle with such teeth. The shot and the large Griffonidu is already in the mouth. Possessors consider it a transitional link, proof that nature knows how to shuffle the features faster than we write Desertis. The flight of Polis's references smells of small. Grondonon splays like a shadow. Huge eyes catch the ultra-brown moonlight. He somersaults, catch up with the hotel, and catches it with a triangular pasta. In a second, it changes a direction of 120 degrees, dodging the barrel. This is a record of maneuverability in Mesozoic. Half, air trembles above the waves. No one resembles a huge glider of the stealing antenna. Without teeth, the kebabs are self-seized. He is over for this in a jam with the Orden, capturing several at once. The double ridge serves as a steering wheel. Any wind chatter confronts the tilt of the antenna. 3 continents, 10 tactics hoths from a night micro-bonder to a random giant with an interruption. The tyrants were the first to show that the sky is the same battlefield as a sea or land. Their descendants didn't take this inheritance. Many tricks after tens of millions of years repeat Nipika or cloud mice. I liked the trip. Support with a husky. Share in prints and forget to call the real unreal channel to grab the next dose to historical adrenaline.